day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Medieval Knights, the channel that brings you the best in Let's Plays, tips and trick videos, and streams every Wednesday and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am TJ West, and if you enjoy this video, please be sure to hit those like buttons and subscribe to follow Medieval Knights. So without further delay, let us begin. Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to What the Flax? So today we kind of have some bad news to announce to you guys as far as What the Flax is concerned. But to start with, we're going to go over some things that I hadn't gone over in the past. I know I released a video that mentioned the storages and how they work and whatnot. And as far as that goes, I do need to go over a few other things. For example, in your fields, if you have wheat, rye, oat, just anything like that, and your villagers were able to harvest it, or at least cut it down with the scythe before the season ends, but they aren't going to quite be able to pick it all up when this season ends. So if these fields were just completely left with hay on the ground or straw that you could pick up, basically, when you have flax laying on the ground, if you let it sit over the season, like you turn your field workers to be farmers instead so they won't pick up the flax that's in the field, then when the season changes, it will disappear. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, I have also been told, I do not know the legitimacy on this statement, but I have been told that straw or wheat, or not necessarily straw, but the flax, wheat, rye, all of that stuff, if you drop it in here, it will disappear over the season. So you got to be careful to keep that stuff in here, in your chest, in the resource storage, or in food storage, whichever one you decide, wherever you decide to put it. Heck, you can even put it in the barn, and that would still be okay. Now, the barn is for overflow, so if your resource storage does get too full, they will start putting things in the barn. And then once the barn gets full up and the resource storage is full up, at which point they will stop working entirely. So you got to keep an eye on that. And with that being said, if you wanted to drop some things out of your storages, you can. For example, the logs that you saw in mine, there, they will never disappear. Now, as you can see, I do have some things that could go in the resource storage here. I'm actually looking for another torch. And I don't... Oh, I just found one. I just saw it as soon as I closed it. Alright, there we go. Now, let's equip that. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily need it. I do have fur clothing on, but just for the video, I'd like to have it out. So, basically what I'm saying is, if you're starting to see this number here, like on this save file that I have going here, that number's pretty high. Well, we'll just take a 10 stack of logs out, because that's just a nice round number that I like to stack them up. And as you can see, there's several here that are 10 stacks of logs. So every time I pick up one of those sets, I'm picking up 10 logs. And then we just push X to bring up the drop item menu, and then E to choose all of them, and then F to drop them, and it'll drop it right down in there. Now, those won't disappear. Because they were in my inventory and I dropped them out into the resource storage, they won't disappear. They also won't disappear if I dropped them out here. It's not something to do with the resource storage, it's just the way the game is set up. If you take in the logs, see, I have some here. If you take the logs into your inventory and then drop them out, they will not disappear over season change. So it is a good idea to take like stones, iron, logs out, and keep them either where you're going to be using them or keep them close to the storage. Now I'm going to go over to my smithy and let's see if I did this on this save file. I did. As you can see, I have stacks of 10 iron here as well, and there's 5 different stacks there. So they're by where I'm going to need them. I have them there for arrow production to make iron arrows for money. So I'm not worried about those chunks of iron disappearing. They are kind of a raw resource. So any kind of raw resource you have typically will not disappear. However, you need to be careful with the straw items and like wheat, rye, the flax, all of that. You just got to be careful with that because it's very finicky where you put it, how you manipulate it. If you leave it on your field, chances are it's going to be gone. If you try to leave it on the floor of your storage shed, there is a chance it could be gone, but there's also a chance it could stay and you could just stack them up. Now, I will say somebody had mentioned to me that they do disappear. However, he did kind of mention that being in the resource storage and the field at the same time, so it was kind of confusing to me. So I will definitely be testing this out myself to make sure that the information that I'm giving to you today is up to date and it is the best information that you can get and be able to utilize it in your own saves. So with that being said, it's about 5 minutes in, it's about halfway through, so let's talk about where What the Flax is going. So it was pretty easy to start doing a daily kind of video series on What the Flax because so many people were having so many issues with some of the beginning mechanics. Well, that was, in all honesty, pretty easy to catch up on as far as everybody being, you know, just everybody kind of being up to date on everything that's come out. Now, it seems as though most of the community that does play Medieval Dynasty is up to date on everything new. They continuously get up to date. If they have any questions, there is loads of resources out there for new players and whatnot. So I really just started this series to kind of help new players out, get them on their feet, and get them playing the game so they don't just start the game and then quit out and say, screw this, it's a bad game, I can't do anything, I don't know how to do anything. Well, that's why I'm here. If you don't know how to do something, you let me know and I will upload a video to try to explain it for you. So with that being said, I will mention that What the Flax is kind of running out of beginner material and I am going to have to start working on more advanced material. So as far as those lines go, as far as where we need to head goes, I am probably going to reduce the upload times for What the Flax to be maybe once a week, so that way I can take the week, kind of gather the materials, get the proper screenshots and video that I need to explain the more detailed aspects of the game, and just make sure that I'm getting my audience the right materials and good information, and I'm not basically lying to you about gameplay so when you play and you try to do some of the things I do, it doesn't work. Now, I say lying, I don't necessarily mean lying because the game is updated very often. I mean, we just had a big update hit, and then directly after that, it was 3 updates back to back within 2 weeks. So it is still an indie game, it is in early access, so it does update often. So some of the things I may have said in previous episodes, I may need to redact in an upcoming episode. So while I am putting What the Flax on hiatus, it is going on hiatus. I am going to reduce the amount of upload times to about once a week if possible. It just depends on when I get the material. And if it's going to take me longer, I will release some kind of announcement either on my Let's Play series or another series or a live stream just to kind of let my community know, hey, I wasn't able to get good enough material for you. I don't feel like the episode is polished off enough to publish for you guys. So I'm gonna hold off on it and make sure that I have the right information. So I do hope that this doesn't make you feel like I am just abandoning What the Flax, because I am not. I am just waiting for new information. I'm also looking to get better material for more experienced players, as well as double check and make sure what I'm saying still works with the new updates. So with all of that being said, if there is anything that you need me to cover in a What the Flax episode, I would love to do it. Please post it down in the comments, hit me up on the Facebook group, or you can basically, that's about it, I think. Well, I mean, you could hit me up on my live streams too. So if there's anything you need me to cover, you can hit me up on my live streams, comment down below, or look me up on Facebook under Medieval Knights, the page. It has been lovely, people. I love this series. It's one of those things that I really hope that it's getting new players on their feet in the game Medieval Dynasty. I'm loving the game. The graphics are awesome. I have to turn it down just so that way my computer doesn't overheat and crash while I record these things. As well as for my streams, I have to lower the graphics, but just a little bit. It seems as though my cooling fan isn't quite up to snuff for my PC. So at any rate, I kind of digressed there for a little bit. But if you enjoyed this series, if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to smash those like buttons. And also, if there's anything you need me to cover in a future What the Flax episode, please feel free to leave a comment down below or hit me up on my various social medias. I do have a Discord set up, so if you would like to join that, you may. That is a very good way to get in touch with me when I am not streaming or uploading videos. So I thank you for joining me today on this episode of What the Flax. Thank you all again for joining me today. I'm gonna stay warm here in our nice little house, light the campfire, get it cozy. If you would like to see more, please hit those like and subscribe buttons and ring that bell to be notified of future uploads. Live streams are currently every Wednesday and Friday beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the possibility of new dates to be released soon. Check me out on Twitch under Medieval Knights. I am TJ West, and let's keep it medieval, people.